everybody. It is Tamika. It's Tea Talk Thursday. I want to make sure that I came in and checked in with you guys. So you'll notice that I am not going to have a guest today because I am actually coming to you from the lacrosse field. Well, I'm kind of in the car in front of the lacrosse field, if that makes sense. So with the restrictions being lifted, some of them, we're not completely out and into the green. Lacrosse can continue, which means that I'm back on duty. The Mobile is back in motion, and I am literally in Delaware County sitting outside of lacrosse field. My son just played 3 games. We've been here since a little before 8, but I wanted to check in with you guys because I've been seeing all the messages and people have been asking me questions, and we've been talking about it. School districts are really trying to welcome all these kids back to school. Now, I feel like it's a little different if your child goes to private school because what ends up happening is I have no idea what he's saying to me. Um, what ends up happening is that with the private schools, oftentimes they don't have a lot of kids in the classroom anyway, so they kind of have space. But when you're talking about public schools where there's really no restriction on the amount of kids in a classroom, how do you social distance? And I'm sure all of you have seen all these pictures that have been going around where they have plexiglass all around the desk, and some of the kids have these headsets on and things sticking out of their heads. But we have to really think about it. Like, is that safe? Are our children going to be safe? So I want to know, what are you guys planning to do? What do you think is going to happen? Are you going to let your kids go? So I had a conversation with some of the administrators at my daughter's school, and they have some things that they're going to roll out. And I kind of feel like it might be okay. I don't think I'll let her ride the school bus, but I feel like I would let her go maybe for half days. I of course need to go in there and see kind of what's going on and what they're planning to do because the reality is we can't expect these kids to sit in with masks on for 7 hours. Like that's just not realistic. I was just outside sitting with mine on for what 2 hours, and I'm already like out of breath. I'm sweating like it's crazy. So to think that they can do it for 7 hours or however long the school day is just not realistic. And then my other concern is, what are the teachers supposed to do? They're already trying to manage too much as it is in these classrooms. So for then now for them to expect them to police students to make sure they're washing their hands, not touching, they're social distancing, it's a lot. And so before you make a decision, I just want you to think about both sides. Unfortunately, I realize for some parents, your child does have to go to school because if you're called back into work, you have no other options. Like you don't, like your child is either not old enough to necessarily go to daycare and not really old enough, well, not no, not old enough to stay home alone, and too old to kind of go to daycare. So you're kind of in a like I gotta send them, what do I do type of thing. My suggestion is that you could get together with people in your community because maybe you guys can create some type of co-op or something. And these are the reasons why we have to vote. Make sure your voice is heard. Your school districts, they are talking about this now. The government is already trying to pass some law that if the schools don't open, they will lose federal funding. We already know what that means. So in certain schools, losing federal funding isn't a big deal. But our schools that are in the city and that are already low income, that are already struggling, them not getting this money is a huge impact. The other thing we have to think about is the meals and the services that schools provide for so many of these children. So there's so many pieces to this puzzle before we'll be able to even have a complete picture on it. But my recommendation is, no matter how you're feeling, if you're feeling for it or against it, you need to voice it. Reach out to your school district. That's what your school board is for. You elected these officials, put them to work. I would call them now and say, hey, what is the plan? What are we planning to do moving forward so I can get prepared? Because you really need to get prepared. Because I told you guys, when I realized that, we were physically going to be out playing lacrosse. I mean, like real games around a lot of people today was, woo, I'll tell you guys about that later. I started boosting my family's immune. Like literally everything that they ate had something in it that I knew would boost their immune systems. Smoothies. I mean, like I have been doing so much just to make sure that, we don't get sick because we don't know where these people are coming from. They don't know where I'm coming from. And so many people today did not have a mask. And these aren't little children that I was around. So a lot of these were high school kids. And I don't mean the players, because the players, I don't necessarily really expect them to have on masks just because of kind of what's going on. But the spectators, there's no reason why you're watching and there are people around you and you don't have on a mask. So lucky for me, the games were early so that I, didn't feel a lot of that. But as the day went on, you got to see the people. And so my thing is that's what school is going to be like. I feel like people start off with good intentions. And even like with the stores now, as soon as we went to the next phase, half the stores you go in, they don't have sanitizer anymore. Nobody's wiping your carts. Like no one cares. And social distancing is basically out the window. So I just want you to think about that, like, what the implications are, what it actually means. And then we got to think about education wise. So many of our children right now are behind because that whole distance learning just didn't work. And so if we don't go to school, that means distance learning has to be in effect. What does that look like? What does it look like if we're like, okay, well, some kids will come the first and third days, the other kids will come a second and fourth day. Like what will that look like? So there are a lot of pieces to this puzzle, and I know all of us are just really, we're stressed out. We're trying to figure it all out. So the first thing I highly suggest you do is reach out to your school districts, figure out what they're trying to do. I was reading through some of them, and a lot of them are trying to do alternate days where there'll be a day off in the middle where no one is at school and the school will get a complete cleaning. They're talking about like on school buses, you'll sit every other row. Let's be realistic. I don't know if you ever rode on a school bus, but that's just not, yeah, I don't really see that really happening and being effective because kids want to get up, they want to talk to each other. They're touchy feely, like they just, social distancing with kids is hard. And so we got to think about that. But the flip side also becomes these kids have to learn. We already realized that, the seniors got dealt a bad year. I mean, they got dealt a really bad year, and even now, not knowing what's going to happen with college and if they'll physically be on campus. Most of them are already going to an online type of thing. So we just have to look at everything that is happening surrounding this. And I always just say, you got to do what's best for your family and also think about how what you do affects others. So, you don't want to just say, oh, well, my kid is going to go to school and I'm not going to make sure they have on a mask because then that affects someone else. So this whole thing is so stressful. I just, yeah. So let me see. Darlene is saying her issue is before COVID, people sent their kids to school sick. What's going to stop them now? What about kids, teachers with no temperatures, um, but it's asymptomatic, right? And spread to a kid that spread. Yes, yes. I feel like every school thread I've been on, that has been the case. And I feel like the Atlanta mayor, when she announced that she was tested positive, but she had no symptoms, I feel like that put people on even more high alert because that is a huge thing we have to think about. So not only is it about the kids infecting one another, it's about the teacher because if that teacher has kids and that those kids are in another school, I mean, just the whole chain of this is like insane. So let me know, like, what are you guys gonna do? Like, if you can, are you gonna keep your kids home? If your kids go to private school, you're probably locked into a contract. What does that look like? So we've been having like forums at my daughter's school, kind of talking about it. My son's school has been sending emails, just kind of trying to keep everybody updated and in the know on kind of what's really happening. But I don't think anybody's figured it out. They don't. I totally believe that no one has figured it out. This disease, basically, really, this pandemic keeps taking different turns, and they're finding out different things, and so now people are shifting their focus on, well, we can't do this now, we can't do that, and I feel like it's going to be the same with the schools, and I don't really know how they're going to contain it. We already know that they're saying that when the winter rolls around, there's going to be another outbreak, and I think part of the reason why they're saying that is once the schools open and everybody gets back to normal, because people are ready to get back to normal. I don't really know what normal looks like, but everybody's ready to get back to normal. People are going to be so relaxed. Washing hands is going to be out the window because if you didn't wash your hands before, you're clearly not going to be focused on watching them now. These masks, they are annoying. I can't stand wearing them. Yes, I have some really cute ones, but I can't stand wearing them. Like, they irritate me. They make my face itch. I have to make sure that I wash them every day, and really, really take better care of my skin because you guys know I'm totally always slacking on that. Um, just so much. I hate all of it. However, I feel like I need people to be safe. Like, that is my priority. So it's not about me, it's about others. I know that I have an impact on stopping the spread. And we all know that. But what's happening is people just don't care. All right, so let me see. Darlene is saying she has no intentions on sending her kids back without a plan that she's comfortable with, and we're coming up on flu season. Absolutely, yeah. So that's the other thing that we have to realize. Ooh, the sun is blazing on me, guys. Is that yes, flu season is upon us. What will happen after that? Like, they already can't. We already have so many cases of people who die from the flu. So what is it going to look like winter with COVID? Just it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And like I said, I want to encourage you guys to reach out to your school districts, talk amongst your friends, and especially in your community. In the event that you guys do have to go back to school, maybe you guys can create some type of plan. And my suggestion is, if it looks like you're going back to school, start boosting your immune system now. Now, I'm actually going to put a post together with some of the things that I've been doing. Literally just to give you I'm going to put a post together that will give you guys some ideas of what I've been doing for these past 2 weeks to really just kind of get them in shape. It's really simple, easy, something that you can do. Doesn't involve a whole lot, but I figure we should start sharing these tips. So if you have some tips and some things that you've been doing, definitely drop me a line, because I want to share them with everyone. But that's really all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I wanted to just check in, see how everybody was doing, and really just get your feel on what's going on with this COVID. We are done. Well, no, we're not completely done. We are done the first half of our lacrosse day. I have more games later. So checking in. Have a great one. Yes, Mariama is yes. Yes, please share. I will. I'm going to put it all together. And a lot of it, Mariama, surprisingly, is things that your grandmother told me when I was in chemo. So, it's so crazy how things come full circle. But yes, I will put out, you know what, when we go to the next set of games, I will actually start writing it so that I can share and give you guys some details, because I've realized that some of you may possibly be going to school in August, which means that you really need to get a jump on this and just kind of making sure that you get your family right and in gear. One thing I can tell you before we get off is make sure they drink a cup of hot tea or a cup of hot water with lemon in it, because it helps break up anything in their chest and moves it along. The other thing is watermelon. Yes. So you guys probably saw my post yesterday. I have been eating lots of watermelon. I got the coolest looking watermelon cutter from Amazon, and it made it easy. I actually put it in our smoothie this morning. Perfect, 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 perfect. Yes. Hey, Ema. Yes. Don't worry. I will share. Shelly is saying that she's looking into school's virtual option. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so what I feel like is, like, here in Pennsylvania, at one point I was going to homeschool, and I love the way the system is set up. They have all these things for the kids. I don't know how it's going to change, because of course now everybody's going to be looking to homeschool. I love that it's self-paced learning, and that means that if your child can read 10 books in a week, they shouldn't be held back because the other kids can't read 10 in a week. So I love that it's self-paced and the kids can kind of move forward. And I always say, even if you're not doing virtual learning, you can start it in the summertime, just with little things. If you look on the internet, there's tons and tons and tons of resources for things that you can do to get started with your family, with the kids now, just learning different things. Like, if whatever their subjects are going to be for next year, have them look into it now and get a jump on it. So that's one less thing you have to worry about. And because it does look like virtual school is going to be an option, whether they're in school or not, they're still going to be doing something virtually, because it does not look like the plan is for it to be a full-time plan. At least they'll already still be in the loop of working on the computer and not just playing games. And then, they'll have a jump on kind of what they need to do for the school year. And it'll give you a better idea, really, of how you need to work the plan. You know what I mean? Because I feel like so many of us were thrown into this virtual thing, when the pandemic hit, that people didn't really get enough time to kind of get in the groove of being a teacher. Because now, that's what happened. We became teachers. So I feel like use the summer as an opportunity to figure out what your kids need, what you're lacking in, because we're not teachers. We don't really know half this stuff. What you're lacking in, and together you guys come up with a plan to make it work. All right, guys, I need to head to the next location. Have an amazing day. Like I said, I wanted to check in with you guys. I will get that post out. Like I said, I'm gonna start working on it when I get to the next place that I'm parked at. But have a great day. Stay cool. Don't forget to wear your mask. Wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer. And stop touching your face. And don't forget your social distancing. All right. Thanks, guys. I will talk with you guys soon. Have a Great one.